Well, howdy! Welcome to the Fall 2012 Intramural Flag Football Participation Captain's video. Well, now, here are the people in charge. This is who you're going to need to listen to. Todd Thomas. Now, he's the Assistant Director of Intramural Sports. Secondly is Kevin Andres. Now, he's the Director of Recreational Wellness. And then you have Rebecca Webb, the Director of Registration, and Rob Kelly, the Director of Officials. Now this here, y'all, is the rules and regulations of why you're going to need to pay attention in this video. To maintain your eligibility for all campus championship points, you're also going to need to pay attention to learn a little bit more about the game of flag football, to learn the policies and procedures of the intramural sports department, but y'all must watch this video and score 100 on the following quiz for your team to be eligible for participation. But, most importantly, to share this information with your team. That is vital information you need to share with your team. Here are some of those policies and procedures we talked about previously in the earlier slide. Intramural Sports Department is a student-led organization. Learning to coexist with others is vital to your growth as a human being and as a Mercerian. And participants and spectators are expected to both act respectful and courteous manners towards the intramural staff members and other participants and spectators. This means, folks, leave your shotguns at home and bring your good attitudes. Intramural sports is intended to be a recreational experience, not a mob scene. Now, folks, we're here for participation. So all faculty, staff, and students are eligible to participate. But if you're going to participate, you're going to need your MU Bear card or a driver's license. Those are the only two that'll work. Facebook proof that who you say you are is who you are, that ain't gonna work, folks. You need either a driver's license or a bear card. You must register on IM Leagues with your email, with your Mercer email address. That is important. Players may only play on the same gender team and one co-rec team per sport. That means, boys, you cannot play in the men's comp team if you're on a men's rec team. Ain't gonna work, just ain't gonna do. Players that are currently under suspension for bringing their bad attitudes to a previous game or other sport, you're going to have to be allowed to participate before you're eligible to play again. A team that uses an ineligible participant will forfeit the contest in which that player was on the roster. Teams and captains, I don't think you want that because that just ain't no good. Eligibility. Intercollegiate football players are ineligible until 365 days or one intramural flag football season, whichever is greater, after their affiliation with a team has ended. This means if you've previously played in a division for the school, say football for the school, you can't play our flag football. Sorry, boys. Varsity coaches will be handled on a case-by-case basis. Contact Todd Thomas if you have any questions. Rosters. Now, we've always had a big problem with this, but here are the rules. Teams will formalize rosters on IM Leagues by 2 p.m. the day of the game. That means, boys, you have to have that IMU ID or that government-issued photo when it comes time for game time. Understand this, it takes two to equal a tango, and that means you and your captain both have to agree on the team so that a player may play. Once a player signs on to a team, well, that's just like marriage, boys. You're locked in. Rosters are frozen to 2 p.m. the day after the last day of regular season play for the playoffs, and no one may be added at this time. Please understand. Now, here are them policies and procedures again. And boys, this ain't fun. Here it comes. Game time is forfeit time. Ain't no way around it. Understand that regardless of what has happened in the past, this policy will be enforced consistently. Being a couple minutes late is still late and will result in a forfeit. We recommend captains tell their teams to be on site 15 minutes prior to game time. Forfeits will result in a loss, a forfeit of ACC points, and a 2 for their sportsmanship for the game. A team that forfeits twice will be dropped from the league, boys. It's just like being late for dinner. It ain't no good. Here in the South, just like at Mercer University, defaults we ask is a matter of courtesy. If a team knows in advance that they will not be able to play as a scheduled contest, they may default in order to avoid a forfeit. To default, a team member must come into the intramural sports office and fill out a default form. If you absolutely cannot come into the office, or if no one is in the IM office when you come by, please stop by Todd Thomas' office in the UCR suite or contact him at 478-301-2370. This information must be completed no later than 4 p.m. the day of the contest. 4 p.m. Friday for Sunday contest, please. And boys, we're talking about sportsmanship, and this ain't like bushwhacking. You gotta be a sportsman. At the conclusion of each match, the supervisor and officials will assign a sportsmanship grade on a scale of 0 to 4, their whole numbers, not halves. Captains must sign the score sheet after the grade and the final score is placed. Do not sign until after this information is present. Teams that do not achieve a 2.5 or better will not make it to the playoffs. Teams that fall below 2.5 in the playoffs will be removed from the bracket. No, we're just not going to take the bad sportsmanship this year, guys. We just can't have it. Well, disagreements may arise. Participants and spectators must learn how to deal with these institutions in an adult manner. And another thing, boys, that's not on this slide is we need you to pick up your trash. It just ain't good to pollute. It just ain't nice. Now, guys and girls out there in the audience, now understand that we're human too. And if a team captain feels that the officials have erred in their application of a rule, they may protest the ruling. This must be done prior to the next snap. Now, understand we ask that this be done in a very polite manner, even though I understand that it is a time-conscientious sport. The team will be charged a timeout, but will be given this timeout back if the supervisor upholds the protest. If a team still does not agree with the application, they may submit a written protest to the assistant director by 4 p.m. the following business day. That's Todd Thomas. Hey guys, this is like them in-laws. This is the other policies. The Facebook page and phone line, being the 301-2842 or 24, will be updated with information about inclement weather. This means thunder and hail and tornadoes every occasionally, but we're not in a trailer park, so we should be okay. But anyways, games are not rescheduled during the regular season. Sorry guys, for your luck, just happens. There's no overtime in the regular season. Please understand. No smoking, tobacco, or alcohol will be allowed on the premises. Guys, I hate to do it. I miss my dip cup, but it's what you got to do if you want to be a sportsman. Now, you can see where to park. That is the parking lot behind the med school. Please park there. Don't park on the dirt road, otherwise you're subject to being ticketed by Mercer University Police Department, and nobody likes dealing with the fuzz. Anyways, then you have Field 1, which is directly behind the soccer stadium, and then across the other subsequent parking lot is the Field 2. You're not allowed to park in that space in between Field 1 and Field 2. The gate shall not be open to you. Understand this is where you may park your vehicle and then participate. Guys, these fields are on loan to us, like most things today, except from the bank. We're getting ours from the athletic department. Please don't walk on their practice field, they ask. That's all they ask of us, and we can use their field. We please ask that you walk on the outside of the black fence on the left side of the field, or follow the yellow rope around the right side of the practice field. Do not walk through the center of the field or on the field. If you are walking past the white line, you have gone too far. Failure to follow this policy can result in suspension of players or teams from participation in intramural activities, or it could be a loss in that coveted sportsmanship points. Guys, this is your football rules. The 3rd, the 10, and the 14-yard line is where the different points you may go. The 3rd-yard line being 1 point, 10-yard line being 2 points, and 14-yard line being for 3 points after you have scored a touchdown. Notice that the team boxes are on opposite sides of the field. This is because we do not want teams to be on both sides of the field at once. Please keep your extra players on opposite sides of the team denoted by when the game starts. You notice your safety margins that you have. You have 2-yard lines. Our field is only 80 yards long from end zone to end zone. We're doing a whole 90-yard long field. We ask that you look to this diagram to completely understand of how the football field will be laid out. The lines will be drawn on the field such as you see them here in either white or orange paint. If you have any questions about the field, you may at any point contact Todd Thomas or Rob Kelly for questions. Yee doggy! Now we're talking about something I know a lot about, and that's the ball, guys. Every ball must be inspected by the officials. Teams are required to provide their own game balls or arrange to use the opponent's ball. Guys, I ask that in the fairness of sportsmanship that you share your ball if the other team doesn't have it. Let's just play a good game, guys. Mercer Intramurals uses what? Linda Lou?
It's pebble grained.
Pebble grain leather or rubber covered footballs. I ain't never heard of such. Comp and rec leagues must use a regular size football. However, women's and co-rec teams may choose to use either regular, intermediate, which is also known as a junior, or a youth size football. Let's go over player equipment. Now, this is flag football, not backyard football, which means you must wear a jersey with a number on the back. Numbers have to be given to the supervisor upon sign-in. Jerseys must be similar in color to the entire team. Means if your team is mostly blue, you cannot be the one wearing a white jersey. Ain't gonna work. All jerseys must be tucked in. If you wear a Mercer Intramurals provided jersey, you must wear the shirt the entire covers the armpit area underneath of it. No one will be allowed to participate in an IM jersey without completely covering the armpits, guys. I don't want to play in your Fu Manchu. You don't want to play in mine. Now, them there spike shoes,
Them is cleats, Cletus.
are not mandatory. But if used, they may not have the metal spikes on the bottom. That just ain't right. Players must wear athletic shorts or pants without pockets. You don't want the ladies seeing your goody goods, boys, if they go to miss your flags and hit your pockets. No jewelry unless it serves religious or medical purposes. Guys, them sports necklaces ain't religious. Players not properly clipped will be asked to leave the field until problem is corrected. Boys, please understand that this is just the thing we've got to do. This here's the flag belt requirements for flag football. Each player must wear a one-piece belt without any knots at the waistline with 3 flags permanently attached, one on either side and one in the rear, much like a tail. Teams must provide their own belts as long as they are triple treat style.
That's threat, Cletus, threat.
Sorry.
Learn how to read.
Flags must be of different color than that of the participant shorts. Means if you got blue shorts, no blue flags. Belts must be completely visible. Belts may not be tied, knotted, or attached in a manner other than attached clip. Otherwise, it would be cheating and just wouldn't be sporting. Now, let's talk about the number of cousins you can have on the field. Same gender teams may play up to 7 players. You must have 5 players to start a game, though. That means if you got those cousins-in-laws that kind of late to everything, you might want to have 5 that are going to be there on time so you can start the game. Remember, game time is forfeit time. You may add other players as they arrive and sign in. This is allowed. All players must sign in with the supervisor prior to playing. Means they better have the right number on the jersey when they sign in. Now here's some of that co-ed football. This means when you got co-rec teams may play up to 8 on the field. At no time can either gender have more than 4 players or less than 2 players on the field. You must have 6 players to start and may add more players as they arrive. Meaning teams, you better have them girly girls gussied up and ready there by game time. Otherwise, it's forfeit time. Acceptable combinations are 4 males, 4 females, 4 males, 3 females, 4 males, 3 males, 3 males, 3 females, 4 males, 2 females, 4 females, 2 males. Substitutions. Each team is allowed an unlimited number of substitutions on the sideline. Substitutions may take the place of anyone on the field. Substitutions may occur during any dead ball after all penalties have been enforced. Length of game. The game will be played in 4 10-minute quarters. The clock will run continuous except in the last minute of the first half and the last 2 minutes of the second half. Each team can take up to 2 timeouts. Timeouts last 60 seconds. Time does not carry over. Halftime will not exceed 5 minutes. Let's get this shindig started. To begin each game, a captain's meeting will be held to review the rules and emphasize sportsmanship. A coin toss will be held. The winner has the option to play offense, defense, or choose a goal. Defer their option to the second half. Beginning play. Play begins from the 14-yard line to start a half or after a score or touchback unless moved by penalty. Teams gain a first down by moving the ball into the zone, by crossing the line to gain. Starting a play. Both teams must line up behind their scrimmage cone. Red or orange cone for offense, gold or yellow cone for defense. The offense must have 4 players, 5 for co-rec, on the line of scrimmage. Only 1 offensive player may be moving at the snap, and it may not be 4. This player is not on the line. No direct snaps. Must be 2 yards behind the center. Snap may be from between the legs or to the side. Here's my brother Arnold.
The line of scrimmage of penalties. Illegal shift, illegal motion, encroachments, and false starts are all penalties on the line of scrimmage.
Ending of play. A play ends when a player is deflagged. Not deep pants, boys, that's deflagged. A player who has lost their flag inadvertently is touched with one hand between the shoulders and knees. If in doubt, it is a pull. A forward pass is incomplete. A player runs out of bounds with possession. A score or touchback is awarded when a backward pass hits the ground. A pass to Jeffro, or what we otherwise call a punt, is on the fourth downs. The team must declare whether they will go or kick. Once a team decides, their decision may only be changed after a timeout or penalty. New, if the ball breaks the plane of the receiving team's goal line, it is always a touchback. Neither team may advance beyond their scrimmage line until the ball is kicked. There are no fair catches in flag football. This signal is ignored. If a ball hits a player and then falls to the ground, it is dead. An untouched ball that hits the ground is still live. All touchdowns are worth 6 points. After a score, the team must declare whether they will try for 1, 2, or 3. 1 point is the 3-yard line. 2 points, 10-yard line. 3 points, 20-yard line. If a team is ahead by 19 points with 2 minutes remaining, the game is over. This is what I call the sneaky Cletus, or otherwise known as flag guard. Players may not use their hands, arms, or the ball to guard their flag belt. Players may not impede the runner by grasping them. Simply pulling the shorts in the intent to grab the flag belt is not a foul. This is what they call the Hail May. Players may use a form of blocking called a screen to block an opponent. Contact may not be initiated by either player that is excessive or gains a competitive advantage. Players may not use their hands, arms to ward off a block. This is recommended that the offense player places their arms at their side or behind their backs. Fellas, this clip here talks about the play, not the barn door. A team may throw 2 consecutive male-to-male completions. All drives begin as open. Once a team completes a male-to-male forward pass, the next play becomes closed. Once a play is closed, it may only be open by meeting all 3 criteria in the same play. Forward pass, which is legal. Female involvement must be had, and the pass made must be for positive yardage. No penalties must be effective. Here's for them lady folks again when we boys like to play with them. A male may not be the first person to advance the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. If a female runs the ball into a goal, she scores 9 points. If a female throws a legal forward pass that results in a score, she scores 9 points. The mercy rule in COREC is 25 points with 2 minutes remaining. Thank God Almighty, almost free at last. Like I said, boys, in the beginning, you must make 100 on the quiz. You may rewatch and retake this quiz until you score 100. I wouldn't advise it. You got to listen to me again. That ain't much fun. Until you pass the quiz, your team will not be eligible to play, and you will default any scheduled games. Don't do it. The quiz must be passed by 2 p.m. the day of your first regular season game. Don't be late. Oh man, it's Georgia Collegiate Flag Football Championships. It's going to be hosted at UGA. That's also known as University of Georgia for those of you other rednecks out there. But October 12th through the 14th of 2012. Interested teams can find information and registration forms at that list is down there, www whatever. Team registration and entry fee must be received by Wednesday, October 3rd. Boys, let's get 'em. Y'all come back now, you hear?